name's Marcy. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome, welcome. And if you are a returning friend, welcome back. I'm really glad to have you here. I like the head bobs. I just spent the last several minutes trying to psych myself up to start this video, and you would think that after how many videos that I've done, I would be a natural at this, but no, I'm not. Today's video is a Flosstube video. My channel currently has a few different type of videos on them. Flosstube, crafty type videos, garden videos, and then the third kind are videos that are for my blog, which I host the videos on the YouTube channel. My blog is at amniconstudio.blogspot.com. If you would like to send me an email, I am at amniconstudio@gmail.com. I am also on Instagram at amniconstudio. I was watching someone's video and they put all that information out at the beginning, and I had something recently that happened that I thought maybe I should start mentioning my email address in the video instead of just only having it down in the show notes. So I may change that up a little bit. Hi Ruth. I hope you're having a great day today. Yeah, it's been a little bit since my last Flosstube video. I have stayed mostly monogamous. I have a few finished things. I have my show notes over here. Oh, what else? Okay, I have a couple works in progress, a few finished objects. I have one big finished object that I've not talked too much about on the channel, but I finished. I hear a critter outside. I've been crafty with a few other things that I'll share, and I want to blather a little bit about future projects and some shout outs, and that is that. So let me get the first thing set up. All right, first thing I want to share is a works in progress and an FO, only because they're on the same piece of Aida fabric. First thing I want to share is White Christmas 2022 by Primrose Cottage Stitches. 4 ornaments in this set. I started back in December 2023. I'm using Aida 14 count that I got from Hobby Lobby, Zweigart White Opal. DMC is in called for colors. Let's see, the first one I did was the snowman. Second one I did was the Santa mailbox. The third one that I completed is the birdhouses, and I just started the gingerbread girl. So there's that. And here are how things look so far. The lighting doesn't do the blue, it doesn't show it accurately. But I got that done. Let's see. I typed it up. July 30th, so not too terribly long ago. And then the next night I started the gingerbread girl. And let's see, anything else I want to say? Oh, this one, I messed up a little bit with the blue. My customizations for this is that I wanted the sparkle to show through, so I didn't put any of the white stitches in that it calls for. Just trying to show off to see if it sparkles or not. I can see it, but I can't tell if it's showing up on camera. So I'm glad I did that. The sparkle looks really nice. But over here, I messed up one of the snowflakes and accidentally stitched the blue where it should have been left white. I debated on leaving it because the ornaments, not everything is, what's the word I want to use? Symmetrical? But I decided to use white to color it in. And actually, I don't know if you can really tell that it's white being surrounded by all that blue. I wasn't about to rip the 2 stitches out because by the time I noticed it, I was already way past it. The blue is a slog. I'm not gonna lie. I'm stitching them. I stitched these 2 rows like that. And I had to keep my eye on the chart, which I guess I didn't do a very good job of, to leave the the snowflake spots open, blank, whatever you want to call it. But this one went, I thought, fairly quick. I did this one. I started out with the gingerbread just in the middle so I could find that and work off of it and get to the outlining of the globe. And then I worked on this and decided to call it good for that time. I've been working mostly on this the last couple of weeks. Mostly because I want to get them done. I figure 2 years has probably been long enough to have them kind of marinating. And then when I shared this with my friend Kathy, and she said, "Oh, how are you going to finish them? Are you going to put them in hoops?" And I said, "Yeah, I think I'm going to paint the hoops white. I haven't decided if I want to try bows. I've never made bows, but I would like to try my hand at it and make them out of some spooled ribbon that I find at one of the big box stores." And after I told her that, and I looked at I closed the chart up and looked at the front page and went, "Wow, I wonder where I got that idea from." So it'll be my first time painting embroidery hoops, and I'm actually kind of excited to give this one a try. Expanding how I'm finishing. I can't mess that up, right? I can't mess up painting hoops. So I think I'm going to work on this one until it's done, which hopefully is not too terribly long because I want to get that done. So that is that one. The next works in progress that I have going is my red panda. Sorry for the lean. Red Panda. This is by Lindy Stitches. It was the Endangered Species Club from 2024. Here's my project card. I started this July 4th of this year. Fabric is Hobby Lobby Aida in ivory color. 16 count. Floss used is the called for floss. And what was I going to say? Oh, Stephanie, the designer, suggested using neutral fabrics. And I liked how it looked here. So I try to find something that looks sort of like that, although several people have used very colorful fabrics. Some multicolored, some solid colors, hand-dyed, and they've all looked beautiful. So this one is mine. I'll put somewhere up what it looked like last week last time I recorded, I think the last time I recorded, I had this done. I started working on the top Panda. It went pretty quick. I was really hoping the chickens were gonna be quiet. I just realized one started singing a egg song. So if you can hear it and it bothers you, I'm sorry. So I want to finish this Panda before starting anything else on here. Quick stitch. Down here, let's see if I can show it real close. It's not a solid color. It is kind of, oh, there's some kind of pattern there. I wanted to say it was plaid, but I don't think it is a plaid. I think this one will take me a little bit longer to do, but all these little motifs that I've done so far, I don't think they'll take very long. And I'm really liking how that purple goes with the black. So that is all I have for the works in progress. Very quick. And I showed the one finished object. The only other finished object I have, I'm really excited about this, is my Licorice socks. One and two. I just realized, oh no, I did write it down. Pays to have notes, right? I started these May 5th of this year. I finished them July 28th of this year. The yarn is Knit Pick Stroll Licorice Tweed, which is charcoal gray with flecks of color in it. Here is the label, if it shows. And this yarn, I'm pretty sure, was given to me by a friend when she decided she was going to get out of knitting. And I am so happy to have these done. You have no idea. I have not, I haven't soaked them yet and put them on blockers. If they had been blocked, they wouldn't look quite so frumpy. I have quite a bit of yarn left over. No idea what I'm going to do with these. A few years ago, I used to use my leftover sock yarn to make little baby hats. I don't think any mom's going to want to put charcoal gray on her baby's head, so I'll have to think of something else to do that with. And I just happen to have one of those little baby hats sitting right here. See? The pattern I used, I have it printed out somewhere, I think. I couldn't even tell you which. I think I got it off of a blog. But either Pfeffer or his brother, when we had him, Haas, nibbled on my pattern I had printed out. So they chewed, whichever one, chewed right where the blog listing was. So that one is kind of precious cargo now, that the pattern, since I don't have it anywhere else that I'm aware of. So that, I mean, I kind of dedicated knitting time to these socks. I decided to dedicate cross-stitching time to that ornament after I got a little bit done on the Panda. That was it for those projects. Oh, the big FO. As some may know, and I mentioned it in my last video. I'm not even sure how to set this up. I'll have a picture of it over here. I feel like Vanna White when I do this. But yeah, I'll have a picture here of my Dancing Stars quilt. I finished it. I was so happy and just tickled, thrilled to bits. I can't even say how much I was so happy to have that done, because that was a 2-year project. I started it sometime in 2023. I want to say that I started it back in January of that year, when I went back on my blog and was trying to find like the starting point of when I first posted it. I couldn't find anything, so I think I just started doing it and then was not keeping accurate notes about it. Not like I do now, where I carry everything over every time I mention something. But yeah, that is done, and it is massive. It is like 85 by 96 inches. It is king size, I suppose. I posted, if you read my blog, you've already seen the picture of it. I also shared it in, I think the Kimberly Stitch Squad and Pat Sloan's quilting group. And it has, well, I don't much pay attention to comments and stuff like that in groups, like the number of them and everything, but I have over 1,100 reactions, hearts, wows, likes, whatever, on the picture I shared in Pat Sloan's group. And that, I'm just blown away by that. I had 2 people say they had that project, that quilt in progress, and seeing my quilt made them want to get back to it. And I was like, yes, you totally should. I did some research. I tried looking around to see how many other people have this quilt done. If anybody else does, they're not sharing it on social media. I came across one other quilt that was actually completely finished, not just the quilt top, and that was a couple years ago, and Fat Quarter Shop shared it. Yeah, so I figured the math for the yardage on the quilt backing for that one. It's over 9 yards of fabric. And I'm actually feeling a little intimidated about this now, because the quilting calculator that I used online to figure this said that I'll need 2 seams in the back. So I can't just, what I've done previously is just like fold the long fabric in half, cut it, and then sew it together once. Just line up the edges, pin it together and sew it. So I'll have to figure out how this one will work. Oh, just, yeah, thinking about that part is a little overwhelming. And still, I have not fully decided what I'm going to do for quilting on that. I've thought about tying a quilt. I've never tied a quilt before. I don't know if... The thing is, with this quilt, I don't want to screw up the lines or do anything that'll draw attention away from it. And if I try if I try quilting like straight up and down, or doing matchstick quilting where the lines are really close together, I'm worried I'm gonna make it not look, the lines not look straight anymore. So I'm sort of leaning towards crosshatch quilting. But I also am afraid to do any quilting at all, because I think every quilt that I've made so far, no matter how careful I am, there are bunches in the back or puckers from the fabric shifting. So I'm going to really take my time with this one. Hopefully not 2 years, but I I'm going to take my time with this one, and I'm going to find a spot where I can surely lay everything out. I'm even thinking about buying, unless I have some already, spray adhesive and spraying the backing of that and laying it on and doing it smooth so there's no wrinkles or anything whatsoever. So maybe pins can be out of the equation. I might do that. Yeah, I'm baby stepping this one. So wish me luck. Okay, other things that I have been crafting have been things that I've wanted to do for a while, and since I was not doing a lot of cross-stitch projects, swapping them out, I thought I'm going to sit down and I'm going to make these things that I've wanted to make for a long time. And I have found one. I don't know where the other thing went. Oh, here it is. It stuck to something else. Okay. A year ago or so, I think I made my very first scissor fob. I wrote a blog post about it, and if I can find it, I'll link it down below. But a lot of some of these more crafty things, I'd love to do them, but I don't remember exactly how I worded it in the blog, and the blog probably, you know. Sometimes I'm better with the written word than actually speaking it, which is hilarious to me. I see other people make these crafty bits and bobs, and I always think that they look so pretty, and I think that I couldn't possibly do as good of a job. But that one scissor fob I did, I was very proud of. And I think I posted it on Instagram, wrote about it on my blog, and I had nice feedback about it. Like, you shouldn't be afraid to do the things that you want to try. And it's silly because I have almost no fear of trying things. I'll try the heck out of something, you know, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But for some reason, this one, I don't know, maybe I was concerned that somebody was going to say those are not cute whatsoever. Well, these are for me. Did I post them on the blog? No, I didn't post these on the blog. The other things I'm going to share, I posted on the blog, but I got some really pretty beads from, I think it was Walmart, and I made scissor fobs out of them. They're all on a shower hook here. And here's the first one. The second one. The third one. And this one could be my favorite. And I know they're all very similar. The beads came all off the same string, but they were multicolored, and I could just see them like this. And I had some other beads that I added, like the little Aida beads, and a couple other beads that I had from another string, like the red one. Oh. So yeah, there they are all together. And when I was looking up how, I think I was looking about like how to finish like the bottom bit, I came across a blog post, and the lady put little lobster claws on the bottom. Why didn't I do this before? Little lobster claws. Why? so she could have needle threaders on them if she wanted. And I thought that was a very clever idea. So if you have a scissor and a scissor fob, then you can always have a needle threader with you. So that, I like these so much that I went and bought more beads so I can make a few more to give to friends. But yeah, even all together, I think they're so pretty, and I am sort of prone to being distracted by sparkly things. So there was the first thing. The other thing I made, I saw charms over at Michael's, butterfly charms, and I saw them and I immediately thought, hey, that would make a really cute needle minder. They're all stuck together. That would make a really cute needle minder, and so I bought them. And I did it, and I wrote about these on the blog too. It might have been my most recent blog post. I've not been writing as much as I've wanted to. And the picture, unfortunately, is not as good on there as I wanted them to be, even though I was under a direct light and I had a white background. The color seemed kind of washed out, so I'm wondering how they're going to look out here. But yeah. Let's see. There's 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So now I got over my fear of making needle minders, I can make all the needle minders that I want. And then finally, Patty Penn over at Stitching with My Kitties, several months back, she sent me something. It was a little care package of goodies, and one of the things she included was a needle threader. And she had a little butterfly button affixed to it, and I thought, oh, that's so cute. And I keep it right next to, it's on my rolling cart that I have right next to my chair out in the living room, because despite having a she shed and a craft room, where I mostly craft is in the living room. I make sense. And so I always have that with me, and I think of her every time I use it and smile. But I wanted to make a few more of those. So one day at one of the hobby stores, I went looking at the buttons, and I came across a 12-pack of ones that had some butterfly shapes, some flower shapes, and then some round shapes. And I guess they were all Paris themed, which... well, the round ones, a lot of them, I think at least 2 of them said Paris on them. And then one was supposed to be a perfume bottle, I think, but it does not look like a perfume bottle. And I only brought a few of them out here to share. If you want to see all 12 of them, that's on the blog as well. Or I suppose I could put a picture up, although... so here is the flower one. Here is one of the butterfly ones. And one of the Paris ones. So now I can give these as gifts and keep them with projects if I ever decide to go out and about and want to take a cross-stitch project with me. So those were real fun to make too, although I bought some of that E6000 glue. I think I've maybe worked with that once before, but it was so long ago I don't remember. That stuff's kind of a mess to work with. Yeah, I had like paper out underneath everything to make sure it didn't stick to stuff. It was getting on my fingers and it just kept oozing out of the tube even though I wasn't touching it. Yeah, I think the next time I buy it, I'm gonna buy the ones with the little tiny tubes, and that way I won't feel like I've wasted a whole tube, because I suspect the tube has set up, even though I capped it as tight as I could. Alrighty, so got all of that. Future projects. Well, I got in touch with Jeanne over We Stitch and We Know Things. And I can't remember if she said it was just her or if it was both her and Ashley that have plans on stitching some things outside of the most recent Halloween cross-stitch issue. And she said, do you want to do a stitch along? And I said, oh, yeah, because I want to do a few Halloween things before Halloween happens, so I have something. I picked out, actually, 6 things maybe. And once, you know, reality hit, I will not have time to stitch, you know, that many things. So then I thought, well, maybe I'll stitch 1 or 2 things. Well, being that the things that I want to stitch are taking, the list is getting longer and longer, I need to be realistic. And I'm thinking, maybe I should only stick with 1. Not sure. So I will, let's see. The first thing that that I was looking at is, I need to put the glasses on for this. Happy Malloween by Kate Spiridanova of Cute Embroidery by Kate. That's this one. The next one I was looking at is Little Mushroom Ghost by Laura Remola of The Little Stitcher. I'm doing what I can to cover the chart. And I really think this one is cute. It's very darling. The next one, I'm actually having second thoughts about. I saw it, I liked it. I have the glow-in-the-dark DMC for it. But then I'm thinking, oh, no, maybe, I don't know. I'm still a little Biscornued out. It's a Graveyard Biscornu by Karen Bowen of KEB Studio Creations. I don't know, I think that one's cute, but now I'm not sure if I want to keep that one in the running. Oh, the next one I'm looking at is Hollow's Eve Sampler by Tracy Richards of Wrought Iron Stitching. Let me find a bigger sheet here. Okay. Get this one going. And I really like this one. This one appeals to me as well. And then another one that caught my eye that if I was to do it, well, let's see, the stitch count is not huge, so maybe it would be doable. It's The Messenger by Barbie Blau of Twisted Willow Designs. I think this one's really cute too. Oh, and then, is that the last one? Yeah, I guess this is the last one. It's Blessed Be by Christy Brown of the Elfin Forest. So I'm really torn on 3 of them, which is the Hallows Eve sampler, that mushroom one, and then the messenger of the that's a confident beginner, but the colors really appeal to me on this one. And apparently maybe my rooster likes it too. So if you have any opinion on that, let me know. Out of those 3, which one you think I should do? Because I was leaning, yeah, those are ones I can't choose. I really like all of them. The other thing that I was, well, it's all actually all kitted up and ready to go, is watching Catherine Stitching Chronicles, and she made a neon cicada and bad stitches. I can't remember the name of the designer now, which it'll be listed in the show notes. And I just realized I didn't grab any of the floss with it or anything, but we're just chatting about this one right now. I saw that she put it on a black t-shirt, and I thought that just looked really great, and I loved how the colors really popped on that. So she kind of enabled me a little bit. I went and bought the chart and bought a black t-shirt, found where I could get the water soluble waste away, whatever it's called. So it's actually all ready to go. I already tacked the waste away cloth on the shirt. The floss is all floss dropped up, and I just love those colors together. They're just so bright. I love it. Love it so much. So that was that one. I was holding off on working on the one stitch at a time until this month. I already stitched what I wanted to for it on July. I'm thinking of either just working on the house for this month, or depending on how fast that goes, the house and the flowers that are on the bottom part of the chart. Now the pictures so you can see what I'm talking about. And then the birthday sale that I'm doing with Sarah's Stitchy Spot, Holly of Hobbies of Holly, Judy of Stitching Bunny, the other Marcy, who I don't know really what her social media presence is, or if she has Flosstube. What is that called now? Daily Reminder. I thought if I didn't bring any of this stuff out, I'd be able to remember what I was talking about. Apparently not. Daily Reminder. That is something I'm doing with them. I'm choosing all my own colors, and I have not chosen the next color that I want to do because I just can't decide. Actually, there's this one bit where it's flowers. There's more than one part with flowers. And I can't decide if I want to go with like a red or more traditional, like bright flower color, or go with something really fun like orange, like zinnias, or really bright pink. So I'm letting that marinate still. Also, oh, I didn't even really talk about the organization that I've been doing, but I'll get to that later. I have 2 projects that I haven't touched in months. I think it's only 2, which is my porcupine cross stitch and my Mother's Garden by Blackbird Designs. I need to pull those out and start working on them, but they are not my first thought when I sit down and want to do a cross stitch, work on cross stitch. So I'm kind of thinking about doing the whip wheel. I tried doing that earlier this year, I think, and it didn't last very long because I don't like being told what to do with my crafty stuff. I had a little conversation with Kagi over on High Fiber Diet podcast, and she's the same way. Like, she has to, both of us, we have to do so much with our work and, you know, do things a certain way and all that, that when it comes to crafting, you want to do what you want to do. And, you know, some people find the whip wheel very motivating. I think maybe I didn't give it enough time the last time before I decided to heck with this. Not that I have a lot of whips, but I do want to work on those because the porcupine cross stitch is like 64,000 some stitches, and I don't even think I have 2,000 stitches on it yet. But I know why I don't want to work on it. It's because I'm using dark colors. I'm in the upper left corner for it, and it's dark colors with, I think, like, had like 2 stitches of a light purple, which was so random to me, but I digress. So I'm thinking about doing that. But at the same time, in a couple of months is going to be my anniversary of when I put my very first crafty YouTube video out, like 7 years ago. And I was thinking about doing a whip parade. But again, I've only got like 5 projects, so that's not going to be much of a whip parade. I have, okay, before I get into haul, I guess I'll mention, talk about the organization a little bit. Okay, well, I guess this is the way to do it. Or I could just talk about it and then put a picture up, but really, well, okay. This is weird to me. Up here, I've got my DMC floss, all my DMC floss. I had to expand the little containers I had with them. I have a full set of DMC floss, but I've also tried to have a skein of floss for every project that I have, which sounds kind of like overkill, but being that I live like 45 minutes away from town and even further to the closest craft hobby store, when I decide to start something, I want to be able to start it, not have to wait till I drive to town, because I don't drive to town like more than twice a week. That is fabrics. Fabric scraps and the stuff that I have folded over. Not folded over, but they come in those little square packets from Hobby Lobby. So that's all there. This is paper charts and floss that I have for projects that are not kitted up, or for kitted projects that I received from other people, like dimension kits, which I found a few that I forgot that I had. Let's see, over here, I'm trying to do this smoothly so nobody gets motion sickness too. I have a few things of fabric. I am not much of a fabric collector. Back there are Soul Sampler boxes. I did the Soul Sampler club for I think a year and realized that I don't sew really that fast because I like big projects apparently. So I canceled that after a year, and a lot of the little notions that came in them, a few were fine that I didn't have before, but most of them I didn't think I'd have a use for them, so they actually went to somebody else. Down here, acrylic yarns. Over here is a couple quilt kits. I've got 1, 2, 3 quilt kits. Here are some, what are they called? The big squares. The big squares of fabric. I don't want to take it out because that might cause an avalanche. Project bags, some perforated paper, another big Q-snap. Let's see. There is my sock yarn. A whole bin of it, so I am set for a good long time. Over here is kitted up projects all ready to go, like the rest of my Endangered Species club. I got, oh, it's upside down. I got this for myself, and now I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that, but it'll be another big, beautiful project. Yeah, that I think is the only one that you can see the cover easily out of. Let's see. More project bags. A lot of the project bags that I made for myself. I'm looking to see if I can see this well. This here is spinning fiber. This was in a box, and I decided that it needed to be in a bag in order to fit on here. Nothing fancy. It's white spinning fiber that I bought a long time ago with the intention of dyeing it bright colors or something, you know, and spinning. This is some stuff that I got that actually is currently on the spinning wheel, which I haven't touched in a very long time. This is cotton yarn and some of my hand spun, because I ran out of room in my natural wools. Down here, let's see. More spinning wool, more Aida fabric. I am set for Aida fabric. And then over here, okay, down. This is on you're on a stand, so I can't put it down all the way as much as I would like, but that is natural yarns, I think. Yeah, if it had a wool in it, it went in here, even if it was a wool acrylic blend. Up here, this, or maybe I mixed it up. No, maybe I've got 2 of them, but this, I recognize that there's wool yarns in here as well. Probably sweater quantities of yarn. Over up here, there's more acrylic yarns. And then I've got some bags up here that have projects. This is a sweater project with some acrylic yarn. This is full of baby blanket. Well, I do some charity stitching, although I haven't for a while. But there's a organization called Make Bundles for Babies that I make things for. I'll pull something out so you can see it. I have to say, for thinking I wasn't going to have a lot to talk about, we're sitting at 47 minutes. Make Bundles for Babies. It's an organization that provides hand-knit hats and little blankets for women who experience pregnancy loss and miscarriages, and these are sent to the hospitals. I'll link the website down below, but I don't want to say it's something I feel passionate about, but it's something that I feel strongly about, that if, you know, I haven't experienced a miscarriage or pregnancy loss myself, but I know plenty of women who have, and it's, you know, well, it's something that you don't plan on going to the hospital and having this happen, and so you don't have stuff with you, and this is something that the hospital provides, and I think it is a very good thing for women to have if they need it. So I'm sure the website can explain it better than I can, because yeah. But here's one of the little hats, and then here is one of the blankets, and it's just a little set, so the moms have something for the babies if needed. Oops. And then they have something that they'll remember their babies with. So that bag is full, and I need to pack them up and ship them off to the organization. And there is a Facebook group. I'll link that one as well. It makes for good car stitching too. And then the last thing I had up here was a project for making colorwork mittens. My pattern is my printer is on its last leg. It was something I thought I'd start up, I think it was last fall or winter. And I pulled everything together, but I never started it. But it's a bulky yarn, because I thought that would be easiest. And I chose these two colors, which it's eggnog and burnt autumn. I tell you, %80 acrylic and 20% alpaca. And I thought that would make for warm mittens. If, you know, if you're just like not doing anything really intensive outside, just, you know, walking around or going from the house to the car and vice versa, or sitting out in a hunting blind. Okay, so that was my little impromptu of what I've accomplished so far. I didn't even show I have more Aida fabric in this bag over here, and I'm not done yet because I still need to find a spot for these somewhere, whether it be on a shelf or tucked behind something, because I am a master at whittling stuff away, squirreling them away, so things won't be seen. All right, haul. Whoop. I have purchased a few things since before even the last episode that I forgot to mention because they were PDFs off of Etsy, and you know, they weren't something physical in front of me, and I forgot. Well, probably about a month ago, I think Sambry Stitches had a sale on her Etsy site. So I went and looked, and I purchased Walk with Nature, because I thought that was very me. It appealed to me a lot. Sarah over at the Sarah the Northwood Stitcher channel, she's been going through her books and sharing and doing flip throughs and stuff. And one of her books was, I don't remember exactly what it was called, but it was mini masterpieces. So it's like little charts of masterpiece paintings. I found that on Etsy and I purchased that PDF. I have someone in mind for making one of those for, but I don't know how quick they stitch up, and looking, for something that small, they call for a lot of colors. I don't know if there was a sale or not on this one, but I got Rescue is my favorite breed, which I think will be a quick stitch. We'll see. It is a PDF that I got from AZ Family Zoo over on Etsy, who is also someone that I watch all her videos because she runs a rescue, animal rescue, I think. And I feel strongly about rescuing all the animals, so I try to support her as much as I can on YouTube. And then when I was communicating with Catherine over at Catherine Stitching Chronicles and asking for what other charts she would recommend that were like Neon Cicada for stitching, I think she mentioned Stitching Madness, and I went on there and I saw a 4-chart set of owls, and those appealed to me as well, and they happened to be on sale, so I bought them. And then I was watching a new Flosstuber to me who also happens to be from Wisconsin, and I'm so excited about that. It's just, I feel there's not enough Wisconsin representation in Flosstube. So if you know of anybody who is in Flosstube or a knitter who puts out videos and they're in Wisconsin, let me know, because I want to see them because they are my people. I live in the Northwoods of Wisconsin, so I feel kind of like I'm in no man's land. Total outlying. But anyways, I can't remember if I mentioned her channel, but it's Leslie over at A Nurse and Her Needle, which I will mention in my shoutouts too. She showed that she's working on something called Snowy Season Cardigan by MJ's Off the Hook Designs. And I went and looked at it, and that one was on sale too. And then I saw it had pockets, and I liked the construction. I was like, but as soon as I saw it had pockets, I said sold. So I went and got that. I bought that PDF, and I'm actually kind of thinking that that maybe I'll use this yarn for that instead. So I bought, a few years back, I bought yarn quantities for 2 sweaters, and I already stitched up the one, but then I've got this one. And it's Peacock Tails. I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. But the sweater pattern I picked for it, I don't know that I'm in love with anymore, that I want to give it a try. Because I like being able to just put on cardigans real quick, off and on. Do I have a picture? No, I don't have a picture. I'll have to put a picture up. But what I originally intended and printed out was the flax sweater by Tin Can Knits. But now I don't know that I want to make a sweater. I think I want to stick with something that is open in the front. And I don't want to do the math to figure out how many extra stitches I need to do for a steek. So I guess that's that. Shout outs. I have been watching Flosstubers. I realized that there's not a lot of videos out on the people I have subscribed to, and it occurred to me that it's summer, everybody's outside enjoying the nice weather or doing traveling and stuff, so, which is okay, it's fine, you know. I've got plenty of other new Flosstubers to learn about and discover, which, okay, like I said earlier, the new to me Flosstuber, Leslie over at A Nurse and Her Needles. And also too, it's fun to hear somebody talk about an area that you know, and she does that. She mentioned a couple places, and I was like, yeah, I've been through there. My mom grew up over in this area, and actually one of my sisters lives in the area, so I've been through, and I know exactly how pretty it is in that area as well. Okay, so that was a new one to me. Other people I've been watching, Kim the Snitch Stitcher, Jessica over at Loomy Stitches. I have been catching up with Stephanie over at Cross Stitch Around the Globe. She's put out, what was it? She put out a video with her sister, and they were at, I can't remember the name of it, but the one needle shop where you drive through the pasture to get there, and I'm just totally blanking on it. But that one was fun, and then you could see other, actually I saw Gem Stitches in that video. It was a fun video to watch. Fairly newer to me is Dottie with Stitching Scotty. I learned about her through Patty from Stitching with My Kitties. Another one that I learned about from Patty Penn was Gary and Ronnie over at Gayron Studios. Gayron? Actually, I'm not sure if I said that right. Because up in my area, there used to be a Gayron knitting mill, which has been out of business for close to 40 years. Maddie over at Maddie Kitty Stitch, Mare at Sin City Cross Stitcher, and I caught a video from Carolyn, Elizabeth, and Amy over at Thread Gremlins, and that was a lot of fun too. So that was it. Like I said, I didn't think I'd have a lot to talk about, and we just crossed over the hour mark. I guess I just really needed to talk about my crafting. So, I didn't want to just end it there without mentioning that I got a lot of really nice feedback about my comments about YouTube in general in the last video. Apparently I'm not the only one who has very strong feelings about the YouTube algorithm. And I think I'm just, I don't know. I will keep doing what I'm doing. I may switch a couple things up. Obviously, the length on this one may help boost my algorithm ratings or whatever, because my last Flosstube video, I don't think I had gotten so many views in such a short amount of time. I was just flabbergasted, and I don't know if it's because of the length of the video or because of something that I said in the video, or what, you know, like if YouTube, while they do their YouTubey things, caught something and thought, oh, let's push this one out a little bit more because we like what she's saying. But also, like, the feedback and the comments that I got were were really nice. And it's nice to know that I'm not the only one who feels a certain way about YouTube. Yeah. So those who took the time to leave comments, I want to say thank you. And I had to, the little emojis that some of you left made me smile. Yeah, I'm just not sure what else to say. I remember a video, a movie clip somewhere. Was it Sally Fields, maybe? You like me. You really like me. It certainly felt like it after the last video, and seeing the videos, the views climb so quickly. I'm saying a lot because I don't know what to say. Okay. Thank you very much for spending time with me today. If you enjoyed your time, please leave a like. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And if you have the time, please leave a comment. Let me know which Halloween cross stitch you think I should do, or leave one of the secret emoji codes if you just want to let me know that you're here and that you support the channel. Until next time, bye.